But even though she would tease us and say she would give us a bracha, which was German for spanking, I hope it wasn't a bad word. But she would say that. German? Is that right?
No, but I know the ones in Polish.
Okay. So bracha apparently was a spanking, but I'd never seen her mad. I'd never seen her upset. She was always so happy to see us, and we loved going over there. And some nights when my parents went out to dinner, my brother Brad and I would spend the evening at Grandma and Grandpa's house. Those nights would consist of eating ice cream and popcorn and watching Fantasy Island, Golden Girls, and Heart to Heart, in that order, all the time. She would then break out the lava lamp, I think that was from Randy and Louie's age, for our nightlight to sleep next to. And if we were lucky enough to spend the night, we'd wake up to her whistling and making us Fruit Loops and Tang for breakfast. We had some Tang at breakfast. She was a simple woman, and she enjoyed simple pleasures. And at the house, she was in charge of the egg farm there. She truly loved working with the chickens and the eggs, and she would sell her eggs to a buyer down the street who would truck them up to Chicago. Grandma also spent many hours in her garden, and I just remember all the gladiolas that was all over the house. There would be in vases, these tall flowers everywhere. And she also loved her little delicate African violets that would line the windowsills. They'd be everywhere. Every time I see an African violet, I think of her now. And she was very fond of watermelon, which earned her the name Watermelon Aggie growing up. She loved her watermelon and her grapevines, which were behind the house, so we always had an abundance of homemade grape jelly in the fridge. Grandma was a simple woman, but I have to say she was the only person I've ever known to be happy to see a dead-skinned squirrel in her kitchen. She would cook that thing up with potatoes and carrots, and it'd be on a platter, and it always looked like a dead cat. And I did taste it, and she'd say, "See, it tastes like chicken." She would know. But I couldn't talk about Grandma without saying anything about her dumpling soup. I think everybody here probably had her dumpling soup. It was famous in the Lukat family. I watched her dozens of times make it, and there was no recipe, but it always turned out perfect. And I can remember being there making it, and I remember Randy and Lee always coming in, and Randy would be like, "All right, dumpling soup, sit down, Lee." You know, it's always a big thing if she made that. And we called it birthday soup. My brother and I always called it birthday soup because she would make it on our birthdays, and she'd bring it over and set it outside if we weren't home. So we had our birthday soup. Everyone loved the chicken dumpling soup. When I was in college, I'd come home to visit Grandma, and she would put out her Pepsi and her chips and French onion dip. And she loved to hear all my crazy stories from college and what happened at school. And she'd sit there and she'd laugh and she'd listen and she'd say, "Oh my gosh," she said, "that's holy cats." You know, she always said that. Oh, holy cats. But she loved to listen to the stories, and sometimes she would chime in about how her and Grandpa used to date. And she said that he called her Green Eyes and would sing her that song, the 1940 song Green Eyes. And they used to go to dance halls all over the area, and she would giggle and tell me what a good dancer Grandpa was, and that he had to dance with every girl in the hall before they left. But she didn't care. She thought that was fun anyway. Grandma was so sweet and kind and humble, and she loved her family and took care of all of us. She was a servant to her husband and to her family, and always did it with a smile. All of us 11 grandkids adored her. Brad, myself, Angie, Joey, who'll still be Joey, sorry. Wesley, Kyle, and Erica, Megan and Kate, Lee, and Allie. And now her 6 great-grandchildren who love to visit her in the nursing home. Mike, Delaney, Claire, and Jacqueline, and Brad's Paxton, Grayson, and Emerson, and soon one on the way. Erica can't be with us today because she's going to have a baby in a few weeks. In my eyes, though, Grandma was so innocent and sweet, and in a way she was childlike. Not childish, not to be confused with childless, but childlike. So in the Bible, Jesus tells us to enter into the kingdom of heaven, we have to become like children. So being childlike means being innocent and meek and humble and having trust in God. And I think Grandma would fit that bill. So, Grandma, as you're united with Grandpa in heaven, we'd like to thank you for all the fun memories on the farm and for creating such a great foundation for this family to continue to grow on. your sweet smile and happy giggle will be